Hi there, and welcome back to the Stric.js channel. My name is Sten, and today we're going to be building a simple dog API application using Stric and the CEO dog API. Now, take my word on this. Although the application that we will build today will be very simple, it will still teach you a lot about Stric and how it works. With that said, let's get straight into the preview. As you can see, we have a very bare bones UI. Let's see what happens when we enter the breed, such as Husky, select 3, and click on Get Images. We of course get 3 images of Huskies. As you can see in the URL, we have queries, which are the main topic of today's video. Let's go back and see what happens if we leave the breed as empty, select 2, and get images. We get 2 random breeds. Let's go back again and type in an incorrect breed name, such as Hazuki. We get an error, breed not found, master breed does not exist. Let's go back and see what happens when the user goes to an incorrect or non-specified route, such as this does not exist. We get an error 404, this does not exist is not a valid URL. And that is actually the entire logic of today's project. Let's get straight into building it. In an empty folder, we can go to the terminal and run Bun in it. The package name can stay the same for me, but you can change it. And the entry point will be source index.ts. There we go. Now we will also install Stric. And we can do that by installing Stric.js router and Stric.js utils. There we go. Now we're going to create a couple of folders. First, we're going to make the pages folder with a file index.html. There we go. And also in the source, we will create the public folder. In public, we will have styles. And in styles, we will have style.css. And first, we will deal with the structure and the style. So we can go ahead and do !enter for a boilerplate. We can remove the title and go for link CSS. And we're linking to style.css, not public style.css, and I'll explain why later. Now in the body, we can make a form. This form will not have an action, but it will have an ID of dog form. In the form, we will have an input of type text with an ID of breed and with a placeholder of enter breed e.g husky. There we go. Now we will do select, and the select will not have a name, but it will have an ID of count. In the select, we will have 5 options. Value 1, and the text is also going to be 1. Now we can change all of these. 4, 5, and same here, 2, 3, 4, and 5. There we go. And down below, we can also add a button of type submit with the text get images. There we go. And below the form, we can do script. In the script, we will do document dot get element by ID dog form. We're going to add an event listener to it and listen to submit. And we will also do e.prevent default. Then we're going to define breed and count. We can do document dot get element by ID. It's going to be breed dot value, and const count will be document dot get element by ID count dot value. There we go. And we will also do window dot location dot href equals backticks and slash dog images question mark breed equals breed and count equals count. There we go. The HTML is now finished. And in the style, we can do body. We can do min height of 100 view height. We can do display of flex, align items center, justify content center, and also flex direction column. And for image, we can do max width 300 pixels. And that is it for the styling and the structure. Let's move on to the logic. In here, we can remove the console.log and instead import router from, actually we can do router as strict from Stric.js router and import HTML, which is new, group, which we covered in the previous video on a live chat room, and query, which is also new. And this is coming from Stric.js utils. Now let's define the app. Const app equals new strict. And here we can do dot get slash dog images async context, and in here we can do const parsed, and we will parse the query. So we can do query context dot URL dot substring and context dot query plus 1. And we will add 1 because otherwise the query will include the question mark and we don't want that. Now we can do const breed equals parsed dot breed, or if it doesn't exist, then it is random. And const count should always exist, and it's going to be parsed dot count, but just in case it doesn't, the default value will be 1. Now let's define let API URL, and it will be an empty string. If the breed is random, then the API URL will be equal to backticks https ceo.dog, or rather dog.ceo slash API slash breeds slash image slash random slash and count. There we go. Otherwise, if we do have a breed, we can do API URL equals also backticks https dog.ceo slash API slash breed slash breed images random and count. There we go. Then we will define JSON. But before we do that, we will define a helper constant, const2 JSON, right below the imports. And that is going to be R, which is going to be of type response. Not response init, but response. R.json. There we go. And in here, const JSON equals await fetch. And we're going to fetch the API URL and then to JSON. There we go. We're going to do let HTML. And in here, we can do link rel equals style sheet, and the href is going to be equal to style.css, and the tag, and there we go. And URL will be of type string. For URL of json.message, the HTML will get an image. We can do image src for source, and the URL. And let's also close the image. There we go. And after all of the images have been added, we can also append an anchor tag with an href of just slash, so we can go back to the home page. And it will have a button in it. Button with the text go back. Go back. There we go. Button. Close that and close the anchor tag as well. There we go. Now we can go ahead and do return HTML, and in there we can put our HTML variable, let variable. And before we can test this out, we have to do app.listen, but we also need the HTML and CSS to appear, so we need to plug them in. We can do that by doing plug and group. We will actually have two groups. The first one will be import.meta.dir plus pages. In here we will have a couple of options, extensions, and .html. And select extensions. and also a second group, which is going to be import.meta.dir plus public styles. And this is why we did not include public styles in the href here, not href. We get it from the group. Now we can do basically the same thing here with extensions, and instead of HTML we'll have .css, and select can be extensions in here as well. There we go. And we seem to have an error. And there is a missing comma here. There we go. Now we can do bun watch dot. And we have started an HTTP server at 127.0.0.1. There we go. Let's enter a breed such as Labrador. And we want 2 images and get images. There we go. We have 2 images. Let's go back. That also works. And let's do 3 images with no breed. As you can see, we get 3 random breeds. Now, let's also do an incorrect breed, Hazuki, and we get a ton of broken images, and that is not what we want. So let's go fix that. In order to fix that, we can go here and do if JSON.status is equal to error. We can do return HTML, open up backticks. We can take the CSS, paste it in here. We can write a paragraph that says error JSON.message and end the paragraph. And we can also take the go back button and also paste it here. Let's see if this now works. Let's type Hazuki again. Get images, and there we go. Error, breed not found, master breed does not exist. But what if we enter an URL or route that doesn't exist, such as this does not exist? We get this message. You are seeing this because fetch request did not return a response object. So let's fix it. This is a 404 error, and Stric has an easy way to handle 404 errors. To handle it, we can do .use, and we can use 404, and in here we can do context, not ctz, but context. We can return HTML again, backticks, and let's copy this, and we can change it a bit. Let's paste, and we cannot do JSON.message, but we can do context.url, and close this, is not a valid URL. We can also do error 404 here just for clarity. And let's test it again. / this does not exist. There we go. Error 404. This link is not a valid URL. Let's go back. And congratulations if you have made it this far. The entire project is now completed. In this video, you have learned how to generate static CSS, and create dynamic HTML, as well as use queries and handle errors using built-in JSON methods and the integrated 404 handler in Stric.js. If you like this video, please do leave a like. Also, please give recommendations on what we could do better. And that's it. Thank you so much for watching.